Before I start this video, I'd like to thank you all for 500 subscribers. Now let me show you how I made my version 2 Afterburner. These two components have already been fabricated, but the third is going to need a little bit of designing. And after a night of 3D printing, I got myself these. This first piece is the compressor housing, which you can see has already had the motor attached. This next piece is the set of blades, which snugly fits over the gear already attached to the motor shaft. And last but not least is the disc that completes the housing. As air gets sucked in through the front, the spinning blades push it outwards. Since the housing covers the outer edges of the blades, the air is forced down, through holes past the motor, and into the rest of the engine. After some drilling and attaching a fuel line, I was ready for the first test. And in case you're interested in the inner workings of this engine, it's pretty much the exact same as my last one. I will link the last video in the description if you haven't seen it. So that was not nearly as good as I was expecting. Even with multiple batteries, the compressor could not push enough air through the engine for the amount of fuel I'm giving it. But don't worry, I have an idea. Okay, it is now day 3, and something terrible has happened. I purchased this hairdryer from a nearby thrift store. I then duct taped it to the front of the engine to make sure it could produce enough airflow to power it. Little did I know that this hairdryer would pump too much air into the engine. And the worst part, I didn't record it. So this is the hairspray can after this first unrecorded test. Other than being quite burnt, it looks pretty fine. Well, until you flip it over. A mixture of lots of air, lots of fuel, and a slightly angled fuel line resulted in the can being melted. It's fine, it's fine. I'm perfectly fine. This is not an inconvenience at all. It took some time, but I finally replaced the flame tube. I also made sure to drill some extra holes in the flame tube to cool the exhaust gases for the next test. Okay, it is day 4 and I have 3D printed an adapter to attach the hairdryer to the jet engine. And before I show you these final tests, I'd just like to say again, thank you all for helping me reach 500 subscribers. I was never really planning to start a YouTube channel, but the amount of positive feedback I get just makes me so glad I did. So thank you all. Bye for now. I hope you enjoy the testing.